And joining us now is my friend Bill Kristol, founder and editor of the Weekly Standard and ABC News contributor. Hello, sir.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to talk to you. All right, so let me put up a tweet that you tweeted out. It was one of a series of tweets, but I chose this one. So GOP will end up with a decent Cruz Fiorina ticket. Meanwhile, Clinton has been weakened by Sanders, with FBI still to weigh in. Now, that came, I think, the third of four that I saw pushing, at least in how I interpreted, a Cruz Fiorina ticket. Do you believe that that's something that will happen? Is that something you're hearing or something you're just hoping for?
I'm hoping for it. I'm sort of hearing it in the sense that I was told by someone close to the Cruz campaign that Fiorina would be close to the top of the list of possible VPs. Not that they're thinking about that now, since they have to catch Trump first and then get to 1237. But and this is also part of a series of tweets, half jokingly, sort of about how this is all going to work out for the best. Trump will not be the nominee, but he will have made Cruz a better candidate with this extraordinary challenge he's mounted, and by being the front runner for so long, Cruz overtaking him will make Cruz look stronger. Hillary, meanwhile, having all kinds of troubles with Bernie Sanders. It's amazing, Steve. Someone just mentioned this to me at lunch. You know, if we weren't all obsessed with Trump, and it's reasonable that we are, but if we weren't all obsessed with Trump, maybe we would notice that Sanders has beaten Hillary in 5 straight primaries and probably will beat her tomorrow night in Wisconsin, 6 in a row against a Democratic socialist, beating the total, sort of selected Democratic front runner.
You know, you're a New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker. He got 18,000 people to come to the Bronx to see him.
I know. I mean, I wonder about New York. I saw there was a poll over the weekend that had Hillary up 53-43 over Sanders. But 2 weeks of campaigning, if Sanders has some momentum in New York, I really wonder if he couldn't beat her in New York, at least edge her out, split the delegates. And then, I guess she just has an insuperable lead among the superdelegates, and I guess they're not going to go anywhere. But, man, if you're a Democrat, you've got to be looking at that and thinking, I mean, this is what I meant, a normal Republican ticket, which I would say is Cruz Fiorina, something like that, I think really beats Hillary.
Yeah, well, that's going to be very, very interesting. All right, just a couple more words on the, Trump is in a battle for delegates. He's, some say he hasn't played the game the right way. He's not savvy enough as far as, winning a state and not getting the most delegates. Paul Ryan has been talked about out there. Paul Ryan says, get my name out of that talk today. You had Cruz saying the other day it's going to be, one of two candidates, me or Trump. And then you have, others still saying it's going to be like Kasich, who's hanging his hopes on an open primary, an open convention. What do you see happening? What do you see happening tomorrow, and how does that affect the race going forward?
I think Cruz wins Wisconsin tomorrow, maybe by 8-10 points. That's what I'm hearing. Polling is showing, private polling as well as public. I think that makes the race competitive in the sense of Trump not having such an easy path to 1237. If we go past the first ballot, Trump obviously gets the first shot of picking up uncommitted delegates. If he falls short, Cruz gets a shot. Obviously, he'll be number 2, and he could be a pretty close number 2 if he does well over the next 2 months. I think the odds are Trump is the nominee, not something I want, but I think analytically you'd have to say maybe 55-60% Trump, maybe 30-35% Cruz, I think, has a chance, 1 in 3. And then I think there's like an outside 5%, 1 in 20 chance that they deadlock, they can't work it out. The delegates decide after 5 or 6 ballots, hey, what about someone else? I don't know who that someone else would be, mind you. I don't think it would be Kasich, who presumably would have won 1 of 50 primaries at that point. Right. I don't think it'll be Paul Ryan. It's not going to be an establishment.
Not Romney either?
No, and not Romney. I don't know who it would be. So I think the odds are pretty overwhelming that it's Trump or Cruz, honestly.
In that case, would you still then support a third-party candidate?
I'm just anti-Trump. Whoever the delegate selects, as long as he's some normal Republican.
As long as it's not Trump.
Governor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you this. There's a report that there's pressure on the platform committee, the Republican platform committee, by donors, big donors and lobbyists, et cetera, to welcome or be more welcoming to gay marriage in the platform. You believe that would be a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. I mean, in a way, it's a little bit settled by the Supreme Court that people shouldn't change their deep views just because of one Supreme Court decision. So I don't know. Maybe they have to change the wording from the past when it wasn't a fact, the way it is now. I mean, there's just a million things that are going to happen at a convention like this, and we've just not, in our time, we haven't really been through a convention where the nominee didn't have control of everything. So we'll have platform fights. We could have other kinds of fights. It will just be resolved by the delegates on the floor. And those delegates aren't going to be controlled by Trump or Cruz or anyone else. I mean, if you're a delegate and you have strong beliefs, you could be a Trump delegate, you could be a Kasich delegate, you'll still vote the way you want.
Right, but the platform committee doesn't answer to the delegates.
Well, eventually it does, because the platform goes to the floor, and they can challenge parts of the platform on the floor.
But do you think it would be, again, a good idea or a bad idea to become more gay marriage friendly?
I think maybe become a little less gay marriage unfriendly, honestly, just because I think it's kind of a done deal for now.
Okay, one more. Megyn Kelly. She gave an interview to Charlie Rose the other day, and she basically took Bill O'Reilly to task, saying that she wished that he would have defended her more when Trump attacked her during that crazy interview that Trump did with O'Reilly, where O'Reilly was begging him to come to the debate. Do you think there's friction there? Do you sense friction?
I don't know. I mean, that's between them, obviously. I try to defend all my colleagues here, John McCormick, Daniel Halper, Steve Hayes, even when they say something that I don't quite agree with. No, I don't know. What do I know about what their relationship is like? This is good stuff. Keeps everyone amused and entertained. Fox is great that way. They managed to generate a huge number of stories about so-and-so like so-and-so, and it's probably all good for the ratings, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Bill, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Bill Kristol, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, we're taking your calls. 877-NEWSMAX, 877-639-7629. Call now.